as soon as it's on the psychic terrain set up by the Indeedee Mail. And now, let's consume this next match.
Malthode with the Golden Go this time, leading out front and center with the Talonflame and the Ursaluna. Some really unique Pokemon choices here, and some interesting speed interactions as well. This Talonflame, when it does have the full HP, its Gale Wings will be activated, so it could always go for a priority Tailwind here and start to get the ball rolling for Frederik.
Certainly can. Now, the Ursaluna is threatening super effective damage into the Golden Go here. Of course, the Talonflame also with its Fire-type moves, but then overall, it's just good damage that Frederik is offering into the lead that Giulio's brought. Giulio with the Golden Go here, it is running that nasty plot set, so I wanted to get that boosted up. Notably with the leftovers though, rather than the Metal Coat, rather than the Life Orb, so you can protect, get some HP back, especially if in other matchups there would be a Rillaboom setting up that grassy terrain.
And this Malthode is that supportive variety. We're not seeing any of the population bombs coming through, so it's going to be able to go for a follow me here as the Tailwind does get us set up by that Talonflame. Ursaluna just going straight away for an Earth Power.
Goodness.
Does give some good coverage and nearly gets the knockout on that Malthode.
Yeah, the Life Orb really capitalizing on the damage there. Golden Go feeling safe with the Mousehold, the friendly little family of mice redirecting to keep it safe here. But the Mousehold isn't long for this game, and then the Golden Go is really targeted down by some super effective damage. You can go for something like a Hyper Voice to get around the redirection, but of course not very effective into the Golden Go.
Yes, of course the Golden Go can go for the Make It Rain, get some good type damage across onto the opposing side, like the spread damage, sorry. But then Nasty Plot, you could always try and go for another cheeky one. We've seen this happen in previous games as well, just to enable that Make It Rain to not only deal more damage into two Pokemon that generally speaking don't mind taking it, but also trying to negate some of those drops that come through.
Does Giulio want to cash in all their checks right now on this Golden Go? That's the question. Mousehold, we could see it withdraw in order for something to come in from the back. We still have two unrevealed Pokemon on both sides here, so it's all about whether Giulio is able to capitalize on this setup Golden Go. But right now, it's just going to keep itself safe and secure in the vault.
Yes, as Talonflame goes for the dual Wing Beat, but only needs one to be able to get the knockout onto that Mousehold. Is able to take down all four mice in a single sweep of its wings here. But this does enable Giulio to be able to bring a Pokemon in from the back and start trying to get a little bit more momentum on the field, because Frederik at this point in time is really trying to capitalize on these Tailwind turns. I like the defensive play by Giulio here, not enabling another Earth Power to come through, but there's still another turn of Tailwind obviously coming into this next turn. So how is he going to be able to adapt? I mean, okay, you answer that question for me, Giulio. You got Tailwind of your own potentially, right?
And you do have the Gale Wings broken on the Talonflame here as well, so no longer have priority with your flying type moves, given Talonflame's taking a little bit of chip. Whimsicott is going to be doing its best Talonflame impression here. It does have access to the Tailwind. Really interesting set with the Beat Up and the Sunny Day and Moonblast as well here. It's all about supporting this Golden Go right now for Giulio. It's nice and boosted up. Let's see if it can dish out the required damage.
Yes, I feel like it needs to get the Tailwind set up here just to be able to match those speeds a little bit more and get some momentum back on the field, as well as, you know, setting up that later Tailwind means that when your opponent's Tailwind goes down, you have the advantage. It is going to be a Terrestrialization coming through though. This Talonflame is getting beautiful and bejeweled with all the colors of the sky, as it is that Terra Stella.
Terra Stella Talonflame. This is going to give a one-time boost to any individually typed move that it has. So one to flying, one to fire in the case of that Talonflame, and then it's spent. So you've got to use it really well. Responding Terra coming out from Whimsicott, celebrating Halloween for us, getting into the festive spirit. It's going to be that Terra Ghost, keeping it safe from normal type moves. But of course, the Ursaluna with its Mind's Eye ability will be able to hit right through that. But not this turn. Just going for the Protect, just keeping itself safe, as Whimsicott does indeed match that Tailwind. So Giulio now has more turns of that to work with once Frederik's own expires. Big old Flare Blitz, though, super effective into the Golden Go. How much damage is it going to do? Oh. It's going to be a one-hit knockout.
That's one way to deal with the Golden Go. It's down and out for the count, thanks to that Flare Blitz coming through. Of course, we know there's going to be a big amount of recoil, but I think it was worth the reward. Being able to get that Telestera boost as well will have enabled that knockout for sure. I like the defensive Terrestrialization, though, as well on this Whimsicott. Being able to be the Ghost type means you're no longer weak to either of the moves that came through from the Talonflame, either the Fire or the Flying type moves. And now Giulio is able to bring in this Incineroar. This can potentially go for something like a Fake Out and slow down the pace of play.
Yeah, certainly. And with this Talonflame, you don't have access to a Protect, so you can't get around that. Talonflame here for a good time, not a long time. His health bar is dwindling, and that is the Terra option spent over on Frederik's side of the field.
Yes, you do have that cheeky Covert Cloak, though, that could come into effect, though. So I feel like Talonflame has a few extra ideas that it's got to cover for the weaknesses it gives itself. But the Flare Blitz will come through. You can see it's not doing as much damage as it would have done previously if Whimsicott hadn't have gone for the Terrestrialization, and generally a weaker Flare Blitz thanks to the Terra Stella boost being used already.
Flare Blitz now targeting down into this Ursaluna. It hangs on with 2 HP. That could be huge for Frederik getting into the future turns of this game, as the Earth Power is able to connect down Incineroar and take it out. So had that been a knockout, that Incineroar would still be around on the field with a critical hit there as well. I wonder if that matters.
You called that perfectly there, Charlie. It could give it the edge it needed. Oh, it has enough strength left in the tank to get a critical hit and to get the knockout. It will go down for its troubles, but I think it was worth it.
Yeah, it certainly was. And Giulio just down to this little Whimsicott now. It's not a Pokemon that's known for dealing out damage at all.
True.
So Frederik calling this game so well, and with the luxury of an unrevealed Pokemon in the back, this means that heading into the next game, Giulio doesn't have that all-important knowledge as to what Frederik was thinking approaching this game and how they might be adapting for the next one. So another really swift set in which, unfortunately, Golden Go went bankrupt.
Yeah, Whimsicott's going to try his best, though. We'll be able to get a knockout on the field despite not being an effective hit. But Frederik has enough Pokemon in the back to be able to, you know, hold out through the rest of this set.
Certainly will. Indeedy looking a little bit grumpy on the field, but there's no reason to, little one. You're about to take care of this game 1 in Swiss Round 4 at the Little Regional Championship. So back to the drawing board now for Giulio. How are they going to adapt heading into game 2? I feel like the Golden Go, you got it nice and set up, but the
defensive terrestrialization, enable yourself to be able to deal with the Talonflame or even the Blood Moon Ursaluna a little bit better. But it honestly looks like our trainers are just going to run back game 1. We've got the same leads out the blocks here. Golden Go, Mousehold, and Ursaluna, Talonflame.
Talonflame, nice and ready to provide another Tailwind on the field if it so wishes, but maybe in this game, Frederik's going to stagger that a little bit, just in case Giulio were to get the advantage later on. But is the Whimsicott even lurking in the back? Only time will tell, as Frederik takes time to lock in the moves here, but Giulio very fast. Okay, Mousehold going to be redirecting, waggling its little paws, so that no damage will hopefully be coming out into the Golden Go, unless the Ursaluna were to go for something like Hyper Voice. That spread damage. Very speedy bear on the field right now. Just another Earth Power did so much damage in the previous game. Seems like basically exactly the same in this game here onto that Mousehold.
Yeah, I've seen this story before. It's going to be literally the same 4 moves coming through from these Pokemon, and I can understand why. Getting the Tailwind up is very critical. The Earth Power gives some good coverage, so you could always target that down into the Golden Go, right? And if Mousehold doesn't go for the redirection, you're still dealing really decent damage into that opposing Golden Go. And Golden Go, if it is going to be on the field, if that is going to be the ticket that Giulio is trying to buy for winning the raffle, then you have to be able to go for that nasty plot and give it some offensive pressure. But I want to see Golden Go on the offensive now. I want to see it get damage on the board.
Yeah, it sort of went for nothing in that previous game, but it could be Giulio's golden ticket right now, as Ursaluna will actually just protect itself. And so will the Golden Go here, just scouting out. More in the line here for Giulio. You've got to win this in order to take us to a game 3. But Will-O-Wisp onto the Mousehold rather than a move that deals recall damage. That's really nice, because then you break your own Gale Wings ability. But of course, the Talonflame does have access to the Wing Beat here. Talonflame taking this beat up. It's only a little bit of damage, but once again, all you need to do for Giulio, all that's in his mind right now, is breaking this Gale Wings ability on the Talonflame.
Yeah, and I think that could be critical going forward, but I also like this Will-O-Wisp play, where there's a timer now on this Mousehold. It's just going to have to take a couple more burns, and it will be removed from play, enabling Frederik to target down into that opposing Golden Go that also has just protected. So unless you want to try and go for a double protect, it's going to be vulnerable. Mousehold can indeed go for the redirection, but it's at such low HP, any move from either of Frederik's Pokemon is going to be able to get the knockout. So you could go for something like the Flare Blitz or even the Dual Wing Beat, get the knockout on the Mousehold, regardless of what it goes for, and then this Earth-powering Ursaluna can just go for big damage onto the Golden Go.
Well, speaking of big damage, this Ursaluna is leading into its normal typing, boosting up the power of Blood Moon and Hyper Voice. Will-O-Wisp, really nice call onto that Mousehold too, just in case Giulio were to go for a switch there. You catch Physical Attacker on the switch in, but as it is, Giulio's Golden Go is coming over all Draconian, going for that Terror Dragon. That means it's going to be resisting the Fire-type moves coming out from the Talonflame, which could be really nice because we saw how much damage that it did in that previous game. But Mousehold, once more, just taking one for the team, following me.
Yes, and Talonflame being the speedier of the two will be the one redirected there. So the Dragon Terror not going to be able to come into effect here. Instead, it's going to be Golden Go facing down against whatever this Blood Moon Ursaluna is able to send its way. But if we take a closer look here, of course, the Tailwind is still in play. So Ursaluna in prime position to go for Blood Moon here, using so much damage, getting the normal Terror boost as well, connecting us a one-hit knockout into Golden Go. It cannot catch a break from these Okos in this set.
Absolutely not. It's no longer a steel type, so Frederik calling that perfectly. Not resisted by the Golden Go here. Frederik, such an advantage. You can see all 4 Pokemon remaining to Frederik, and then in one fell swoop, both of Giulio's lead Pokemon down and out. So now we have the reveal of the Whimsicott. At least you can set up the Tailwind here, but all eyes are going to be on this final Pokemon, just the Incineroar, so just another very supportive Pokemon. I doubt that Giulio has enough gas in the tank right now to undo Frederik's team.
That's the thing, I'm looking at what these two Pokemon can do, and sure, you've got the Fake Out that can just slow down pace of play, but then that doesn't really enable Whimsicott to do too much. If you set up the Tailwind, yes, you match the speeds, but you can't do anything. So Frederik being able to take this set 2-0 for Swiss round 4.
That might be one of the swiftest sets I've ever seen in Pokemon here at Swiss round 4 of the Lille Regional Championships. Nice to see both those trainers debriefing after the game. It's always a good thing to pick the brains of your opponent, what they were thinking, what the position they thought they were in. So crucial heading into the future rounds. And you know, Giulio still has such a long day ahead, could definitely clinch out those remaining wins that they need. Probably losing